Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. It's been so long since I've been on here and I do miss all of you so much. I've been just running around like crazy and I've actually been trying to get my life together and actually be more organized this year. But hopefully from now on I will come on the introductions so that I can explain to you guys what we're doing versus just having voiceovers, because I think it'll be a little bit more fun. But anyway, today I am sharing with you something that changed my life as far as cookies. So in the beginning, although I struggled a lot with finding the perfect dough or the perfect cutout recipe for my cookies, I also struggled a lot with finding a good royal icing recipe. So in the beginning, I did try a few icing recipes and I had trouble with them not crusting enough for me to be able to decorate. And when I was a beginner, I didn't know about doing outlines and flooding consistency, and I didn't know about dehydrators or letting your cookies rest so that you can add royal icing on top for more dimension, you know, all the things that you learn with time. And I find that with cookies, you need two things. You need a perfect, or not a perfect, because there is no perfect cookie recipe. It really is what works for you, but find a recipe for dough that works for you. And second most important, I feel, is the royal icing, or the icing that works for you, whether it's buttercream, if you use a mixture of fondant royal icing, you know, whatever it is, find what works for you. But today we're going to be talking about royal icing, and I have a tub of it here. Here's how it looks. And I like to make my royal icing pretty thick. I do get a lot of questions as far as if I use the same consistency to outline and flood. And I do, one, because mixing icing and mixing the colors and the consistencies takes a lot of time. And it's not that I'm lazy, but it's just too time consuming. So I just find something in between outline and flood, and I use that for all of my cookies. But I can certainly make another video to show you guys the difference between a outline consistency and a flooding consistency, and the consistency in the middle that I use for all of my cookies. It really basically is just what works for you. So it's not going to be for everybody. Some people prefer to use, you know, both consistencies, one consistency, whatever. I'm getting off topic. Let me show you the royal icing. So oh, well, okay. I think you guys can see that, but okay, that's my royal icing. It's pretty thick, and I'll scoop some out so you can see it. So it's pretty thick, and the reason that I do it this thick is because I like to have control of how much water to use to, you know, make it a little bit wobblier, or what is it called, to make it a little bit more fluid. So I'd rather start with something a lot stiffer versus starting with something that is more fluid, because you can always put in water, but it's harder to take it out. So let's get on to the recipe before I keep talking, because I will keep on talking and I will never stop. And here is a list of what we're going to use. In my bowl, I did go ahead and measure 2 pounds of powdered sugar. You can also use the bag that comes in 2 pounds to avoid having to measure it. And to my 2 pounds of powdered sugar, I am adding meringue powder. I do use Wilton meringue powder. Feel free to use any other brand. This is the only brand that I've tried, so this is the one that I stick to. And I am adding 5 tablespoons of meringue powder to my 2 pounds of sugar. And also, by the way, I didn't sift the sugar. I just measured it and I placed it in the bowl. Here we just want to make sure that the meringue powder and the sugar are well incorporated. You can certainly use a whisk, but I'm just using my measuring spoon to mix them all together here. For flavor, I am using clear vanilla extract. Just remember that if you do add any other flavoring, if it's not clear, it might change the color of your royal icing slightly. So be mindful of that. I am adding 2 teaspoons of clear vanilla. I'm also adding light corn syrup. The brand doesn't matter. I have the store brand here, and I will be putting in 1 tablespoon of light corn syrup to my mix. And finally, I am adding 2/3 cups of water. After adding the final ingredient, which is the water, you can certainly pre-mix together all of your ingredients to avoid having them fly all over the place, but I usually don't. I am using the whisk attachment for my stand mixer, and I know that a few of you are going to ask if you can do this with a hand mixer, and you certainly can. It's just going to be a little bit long of a process having to hold your mixer in place. And I do start at a very, very low speed because I want to incorporate all the ingredients together before placing it on a higher speed. Once I see that my ingredients are beginning to incorporate, I will move my speed from stir up to about a 2 or a 4 speed, which is medium speed. And I'll continue doing this until I reach high speed. And here I did speed up my video and my mixer is going on high speed. And throughout the whole process, you will notice that your mixture will double in volume and it'll start to get a little bit puffy and it'll start getting very, very white and glossy. The entire process itself takes about 10 minutes, with 3 of those minutes being adding all the ingredients and getting everything ready. And the other 7 minutes is the amount of time that I actually mix my icing for to reach the consistency that I'm looking for. And here you can kind of see that it's already beginning to get a little bit more stiff and it's a lot more shiny than it was in the beginning. And due to the fact that it does take about 7 minutes for our icing to whip up, I do recommend using a stand mixer, but if all you have is a hand mixer, that works perfect as well. When my 7 minutes are over, this is how my icing looks. It is very stiff, and what I do is I actually leave it in this bowl because this bowl actually has a lid, and like I mentioned before, I do make my icing the same day that I'm going to use it, and I color it the same day. But for example, I made this in the morning and used it in the afternoon, and I simply placed my lid. You can also store it in an airtight container or in a Ziploc bag for later use. Alrighty friends, and that is my video recipe, and here I will leave you with a few photos. My before picture is before I actually started using this royal icing recipe, and the after photo is using the recipe that I showed you today. Don't forget to share this recipe with your friends, hit the like button, don't forget to subscribe, and if you liked it, leave me a comment down below, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!